Hello, trading has closed on October the 1st, 2024. Our disclaimer always comes first. We'll go over our calls, make our predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow. If you're going to follow along with me, remember I can be wrong and all trades should be made at your own risk. Also remember, my system gives targets. It says nothing about interest. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early low. We said that the late rally was due to end of quarter positioning. It should reverse quickly, ideally by gapping down, undercutting the last low, but we didn't really make a call because we said it was also possible we could rally for 2 more days, and the plan was just to watch and see what would happen. Well, we didn't have much time to do much with this. We got one of the 2 possibilities we discussed. It left a wall with gap pattern. These things do fill at some time, but if they don't fill quickly, they don't have to fill anytime soon. We have a new target from today's patterns, 56.8391. If we don't gap up smartly, that's my call for tomorrow. At this low, we got an ultimate sell signal and the MEJT sell signal. We haven't gone low enough to satisfy the regular sell, and the ultimate sell was satisfied, but almost always we get more. So we have a couple of patterns saying we'll undercut that low, gives us the target. Now it's possible to give a signal and have this huge rally afterwards because it just generates a target. It doesn't generate an entry. Well, you can call this a cup. Maybe that's an upsloping handle. If that's the right interpretation, once you break through this handle, the target's to retrace to the bottom of the cup. That's 54.0696. And maybe there's some other way to read that, but once you break through this, that's the target. Doesn't mean it prints tomorrow. Now there's other business going on. We gapped down, hit a lower low, closed over all the lows. It's actually a positive pattern if it's maintained, but I'm not sure it's going to be maintained. The 2 types of patterns we see today are a rally into the close, which didn't happen, or a straight line drop, and that's the straight line drop, and the pattern with the straight line drop typically closes at the low. That's not a close at the low, but tomorrow's open can substitute for this close. So there's a good chance we open down here, hit our target, even undercut that low. Now, you can argue that we couldn't hold on to these lows, and so that could take us higher. And I can't say you're wrong, because if we don't break out to a new low here, we should break out to a new high here. I think that's most unlikely, but you never know till you see the open. I think we're breaking it down. It sure looks like we're breaking down from this pattern, and if that's the right interpretation, we could have a wave black C similar to wave black A. So if we drop, it's a pretty big drop, and if we rally, I don't think we're going much over that red line. But because there are different patterns, we have to use the mixed signals rules. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low, which doesn't tell us where we open. We have a lower MEJT target. Unless we gap up smartly, the rules call for it to print. Today's normally bullish pattern was not bullish. It was pretty bearish. We got the straight line drop typical of the pattern, and if it played out as it normally does, we should have closed at the low, and that didn't happen. So tomorrow's open can substitute for today's close, so the odds favor gapping and promptly undercutting today's low. Sentiment indicators remain on the sell. We've broken an upsloping trend line, and that generates a much lower target. Now, there's no guarantee in this world, and if the call fails, it should fail big, because the wall with gap at today's high is an unstable pattern, and should fill at some time. And if it doesn't fill quickly, it doesn't have to fill anytime soon. But if we do fill it at tomorrow's open, there's resistance there. And I think if we hit it, prices aren't going to break that resistance. But we also gap down, hit a lower low, closed over those lows. Gapping down enough vitiates that pattern. So I think the odds favor gapping down, undercutting this low, and at least hitting our target. I think that's what's going to happen. Just remember, if I'm wrong, it could be way up there. I don't think I'm wrong, but you never know until we see the open. And that's today's call.